Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and here we are, the last video of the year. I'm usually pretty excited to do these ones, right? And this is no exception by any means, not at all here. But for anybody who does not know, this is something I like to do for my last video at the end of the year, every single year on the channel, and I've been doing this since 2012, I want to say, so it's been about 13 years, including this one. It's going to be 13 years of doing this here. So you can kind of see like all the, kind of a little bit of the evolution if you go back and see like all my other Game of the Year type videos. But what I like to do is there's two videos that I enjoy doing at the end of the year. One of them is a really long video, which if you did not see it, I'm not even blaming you for that at all. But it's where I go through, this isn't all of them, but it's where I go through the games that I end up finishing for the year, and I talk a little bit about each one there. Now, typically, what I say is one of the games in this stack is going to be my Game of the Year. However, that did not happen here because I even talked about it in there, but you can see this is a pretty small, short stack of games, and it's kind of just a sign of what happens with like the industry overall and kind of what happens. We're kind of still torpedoing towards a you will own nothing and like it future, and there's not really going to be much physical stuff and everything's going to be digital. So therefore, I still plan on gaming, but for the most part, this stack of games that I show is going to get smaller and smaller, not because of lack of games, but just because there's going to be less opportunities to actually buy the games that I'm digitally playing and talking about. However, I'm going to put this to the side here because the game that I end up picking for my Game of the Year is not going to be in this stack. But I am going to be talking about it with you all, and I have a few things to say. I also really weighed how I was going to do this video here, but let me just reveal it to you all, right? My Game of the Year for 2025 ended up being Clair Obscur. I hope that's how I say it. I'm just thinking of the song there, but Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This was one of the greatest games I've ever played, honestly. I'm not going to, and just for the sake of this video, I'm going to tell you all, I'm not going to be putting in any trailer footage or anything, because I really thought hard about this. And this is not a video that I'm like spontaneously doing. This is actually a video I've been planning in my head for months and months and months. Because when I played the game, and especially when I finished it earlier this year, I knew it was going to be my Game of the Year. I knew that nothing else was going to touch it, and I've just kind of stayed quiet about that, at least here on the social media front and the video side of house. I thought about doing a video talking about how much this game really meant to me, how much it touched me, really just some of the comparisons to like what's happened like offline or experiences that I've had and how they really matched up with this game here, and just some of the personal stuff. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And the reason why I'm not doing that is because it's personal. And it's not just that, it's that this game ends up touching everybody in some kind of way. This game ends up really hitting every single person who plays it and really gives it a proper try. It really just hits them to their core at a personal level. And one of the I guess communities, and really the only community I've really like kind of kept up with this game, has been the Expedition 33 subreddit. And even if you go there, you see people where they say, yo, I just got this game and I had no idea it was going to be this good. Or, yo, I just got to this part and oh my god, I didn't think this was going to happen. The comment that you will always see, like immediately, and just everybody matches this, is they essentially say, awesome, good for you, glad you're enjoying it, now please leave and don't come back until you finish the game. And that's really how it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this whole like personal diatribe and everything, because that is something that I would share with people who ended up playing the game for themselves, right? And I'm going to try and frame this for people who have not played the game, or they're kind of on the fence about it, or maybe you're just starting it, maybe you haven't even finished the game yet. I'm going to talk about it like that, with essentially like you are my friend who's asking me about this game. I've essentially had this spiel for multiple people, but this is, I don't say this lightly, really. And look, I know it ended up sweeping at the Game Awards. I know that it ended up getting Game of the Year there. None of that even matters to me. If anything, I'm very happy about the game, right? But even before any of that was happening, I had so much love for this game that honestly, this is a big thing to say. Expedition 33 is not just my game of the year. So far, it is my game of the generation. And when I've told friends this, they almost get a little offended when I say it. And I'm like, hold on, just hear me out here. We're 5 years into this current generation, and Expedition 33 by far is the best game that I have played for the new generation of systems, the PS5, the Xbox Series, and PC, since you can play it on there as well too. It is the best game that I have played, leagues ahead of any other games. The amount of emotion, the amount of love, the amount of heart that you can feel in this game feels insurmountable at times. And it is so close to perfection with what I have played. I've loved the characters. I love the story. I've loved the twists and turns. I've loved the battle mechanics in there. Maybe the only complaint I might have on the game, and this is me being so nitpicky, but this is just to say something, like, just to be objective about it, right? When they designed the game, they had the voice actors, but they also had the mocap artist, and they were different. And there's times where, especially near the beginning of the game, the voice acting is not going to be 100% synced to the lips that are there. And it's just something like I kind of noticed that, and it's a little annoying when you see it. But again, that's me even nitpicking, just trying to find something negative to say about this game. And even then, it's only really an issue that like hits the beginning of the game. As you get closer, especially when you get to the end of the game there, I think it was probably just kind of a human thing of like, the actors were also just getting more into it. They were getting more accustomed. They knew the delivery. So that really doesn't become an issue by the end. But like at the beginning, you could see that the lip syncing is not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. It's fine. Again, that's me nitpicking. I do want to go back to talking about this being game of the generation, because that is something that it shocked many people when I've told them. But like I said, by leagues and leaps and miles, this has been the best game I've played compared to really anything else that has been out there. But I feel like the only game that could touch this is Grand Theft Auto 6, which is not a fair comparison to make, because not only they are completely separate games, but Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto. Plus, when you deal with Grand Theft Auto, when you're talking about it, you got to realize, like, I haven't been there for the original ones, like Grand Theft Auto 1, London, Grand Theft Auto 2. When they released, I wasn't gaming, but I was there for the release of 3 and onwards. And typically with the Grand Theft Auto games, whenever a new one comes out, it is either the greatest thing ever made at that point in time that completely shatters expectations and ends up changing just the industry as a whole. And other games try to copy what it is doing and it becomes a major influence, or it's alright. It's one of the two. And the problem with Grand Theft Auto 6 is that it has been in development for so long and there's so much hype and money behind it that there's no possible way when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it cannot be anything less than the greatest game ever released at that point in time. But again, it's a separate game right there. We've seen it with multiple games like this, but even the other thing I tell people is it's like, look, like let's go back to PS2, for example. It's like one of my favorite games is Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like comparing Kingdom Hearts 2 to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They're two completely separate games. They're two great games, don't get me wrong, two of the best games ever made, but they are so different to the point where you cannot say, oh, this one's better than the other one, because they're completely separate. That's it. Oh, and speaking of that, I didn't just make that comparison randomly. I did want to talk about it. Kingdom Hearts, much like many other people, and for reference as well too, at the time I played this, and even at the time of recording this, I'm 32 years old. I would argue that is the best age to play Expedition 33. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say much else there. But point being, if you're older, if you're younger, don't worry about it. Don't let that scare you. If you're younger and you're interested in it, still try it. If you're older, you might actually have an even better experience, because a lot of the people that I've seen who've been sharing their experiences with games, in short, the people who have been through the most shit, the people who have had the most trauma, the most resiliency, the most buildup. So typically people who are more hardened in life, which means they're going to typically be older, they're the ones that have the deeper connections and the best experiences with this game. But I still said what I said there. I think that 32, if you can, that is the best age to play this game. At least the first time you'll play it through it. But I bring this up because so many people in my age range, in my demographic, one of the first games they really emotionally connected with was Kingdom Hearts, which was me. The first Kingdom Hearts, I fell in love with that game. Not just that, I became obsessed with that game. I was looking into the communities. I was reading fan fiction. Yeah, this is, you know, I'm admitting to that, right? Like, if we're going to be vulnerable here, I'm talking about that stuff. Like, I was down bad for this game, and the internet was a completely different time back then as well, too. So this was like 2002, 2003. You really had to scout for this stuff. You had to go through effort. You couldn't just, like, go to AO3 on your phone and pull up something. Like, no, there were different communities and all that, and it was effort to actually be a fan and communicate with other fans about some kind of fandom back then. Especially if you were a kid like me, where like you didn't have like unlimited internet access, unlimited devices that could just connect at any given time. No, there was effort that went through it. It's a really fond memory I have, and it's something that I'll always hold dear to me. And I think not only Kingdom Hearts doesn't really age like the best, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is still one of the best games ever. I still love, I have a love and respect for them. But Expedition 33 had me graduate from Kingdom Hearts. And it wasn't even an intentional thing. It just kind of felt like Expedition 33, without me even realizing, kind of just came through, and it's just like, hey Mario, this is fine, but pack your bags, we gotta go. You've spent enough time with Donald and Goofy here, let's take this expedition. No regrets, honestly. No regrets. I can happily say I graduated into Expedition 33. This right here, though, is so close to perfection for a game for me, and it's just everything. It is the characters, the writing, the music, the levels, the pacing, the voice acting, the mocap, just every single thing I love about this game. And even just like the imperfections and the issues that it has. I know some people have complained about like how the maps work on there, and maybe the platforming and some of the other things on this. And maybe like the only other technical complaint I have is this is unfortunate with UE5 games that are just not optimized. And Expedition 33, I played on PS5. It's pretty optimized. But UE5 games, they're not like fully optimized. If you've played RoboCop, great example of this. You'll just kind of keep noticing like particle glitches on characters. Like if like a character comes into frame real quick, or like the camera pans over to them, you might see like a little bit of like a texture glitch, and that's it. It's kind of a common thing with Unreal Engine 5 games, and I don't like that, but that is just kind of just a sign of what it is there. It happens, it's fine. But outside of that, the reason why I bring this up is because this game does such a great job of, I'm going to lift this line. There's a line that Henry Rollins once said in the song Bottom by Tool, favorite band of all time right there. And if you're listening to this line, it's not going to be in there because it was actually removed, but he said, "I'll make weapons out of my imperfections." And that is exactly what the development team did with this game. I cannot remember the last time I played a game with this much heart, this much soul, and something that was so fictional and designed in a fantasy world, but felt so real all at the same time. Just, I have... It's so hard to say bad things about this game. And I'm one of those people, typically, I'll say more bad than good when I'm talking about something, even if I like a game. I'm keeping this very high level because, again, I don't want to spoil this for people. And I'll put it like this. If you're interested in playing this game, don't watch a trailer. That's why I'm not putting trailer footage in here. Do not watch trailers. Don't look it up. Even when you're playing the game, if you can, don't look it up. When I played this game, and by the way, if anybody's like kind of scared of an RPG, you can finish this game in like 30 hours. It's not really that long of a game when it comes to a big open world RPG, which is the nice thing, because look, a lot of us are adults here. We don't have time to be putting down like 300 hours into games like that anymore. So when an excellent, not just a good, an excellent, a truly excellent game comes out like this, and it's an RPG, and it's only about 30 hours, I'll take some more of that. I really will. I was so intentional about this game that also I picked up a physical copy. I can't show you because my youngest brother's borrowing it, but I picked up a physical copy of it. I had to kind of go out of my way. There was like one shop that had it. It was $50 as well too. That was the MSRP. it wasn't even like the full price of like $70 or $80 or even $60 that we see. It was a $50 game. It's excellent. And whenever it goes on sale, even I've had some people say, I'm not sure about it right now. I mean, it's only on sale for like $40. I'm like, that is still worth it. Like, that is still worth it right there. It is so well worth it. I love how much success that the team has had from this. And you can just tell if you've like followed them on socials and all, which if you haven't finished it, please don't do it. Like, go in as blind as possible, but there's just been so much love behind this game. If you're thinking of playing this game though, I'm not going to warn you about like content or anything like that. What I will say is that I legitimately believe there's only two types of people who would not like this game. The first type of person is the person who just does not like turn-based RPGs at all. You don't like them, you hate them, you can't play them, you don't enjoy them at all. Even different mechanics, it's not going to do much for you. You just have such a despise and such a hatred of turn-based RPGs. If you're one of those people, even though the turn-based RPG system on here is different than many other games we've seen, and it is so fun, if you're just a certified, like, if you are a completely certified and expert hater of turn-based RPGs, this is not going to change that for you. The gameplay is turn-based RPG. So, even if you're wanting that story experience, you're going to have to trudge through that. But like I've said, sorry if I'm repeating myself, if you just hate turn-based RPGs with a passion, you're not going to like this game. The second category of people is people who just cannot give this game a chance. They are the people who thankfully I haven't seen much of them, and it's because I don't really look for it. But I do know that there's people who they just want to be contrarians, they just want to shit on everything, and they just want to go in, and maybe they just want to play this game and be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be like game of the year, okay, let's see like what everyone is overhyping, and they just try to nitpick every single thing about the game and try and say, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. If you're one of those people, just don't play the game. Like, that's what it is. Like, you won't even allow yourself to enjoy the game. And if you're not going to allow yourself to enjoy the game, just don't play it. But legitimately, those are the only two groups of people I feel like would not enjoy this game. I will say, though, kind of nearing the end here, this game kind of took over my thoughts for a bit. I never thought I could be obsessed with a game again like I was with Kingdom Hearts, especially as an adult. When you're an adult, you have, like, there's shit that you gotta do in life, you know? There's just things you gotta do. There's people you gotta see. There's other, your brain space needs to go to other things. So when it started to get occupied by Expedition 33, that really shocked me. And even telling people as well too. Like, my girlfriend saw me play through a lot of the game. She heard a lot about this. I was telling her, I had like diarrhea of the mouth telling her about this, like when I finished it and I was like looking more into it. And even like other people who had played through the game and I'm like kind of like debriefing and talking with them. This is one of the few pieces of media where I can think of certain moments in the games, or even like one line from the game, multiple lines, but I could like think of like one line, or I could even explain something, like make a connection for someone. And even if they haven't played the game, if I can explain it to them, I will start tearing up and they'll start tearing up. Like, real quick, I'm not going to spoil what it was, but there was a connection that was missed. I'll just say that. I was at a party, I was talking with a friend of mine who had played this game and she loved it. And she did not make this connection in the story. So I explained it to her, and when I put out the chips and the pieces and I explained it and she tied it together, she started tearing up. And I started tearing up as well. And I'm just like, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. You're tearing up at this party. I got you. So we had a little bit of fun with that. But this game hits everyone, man. It hits pretty much everybody who plays it. So just be warned of that. My final parts on this here, my final words I have to say, if you're interested in playing this, if you're someone who... There's been several friends of mine, for example, they've been on the fence. They haven't even heard about this game. They weren't really sure about it. And then when I share these things, they're like, okay, that does it. I'm going to pick up this game, or I'm going to get Game Pass. I'm going to install it. I'm going to do this here. You've convinced me. The thing I tell everyone, I say, do not look up any trailers. Do not read any reviews. When you start playing the game, if you can, avoid looking up anything. Even if you get stuck, don't look up things. Don't go to the subreddit. Don't engage with the communities. Do not, if you can, go in completely blind And you can look up as much as you want to once the credits roll. But outside of that, just try to limit yourself, because the beautiful thing I have noticed about this game is that even though so many people from all these different backgrounds, from all these places around the world, even though so many people who have different thought patterns, different just experiences, different everything, even though they are playing this, and these games are subject to, you know, our personal thoughts and our personal feelings, and we're going to process and think about things in different ways, everyone kind of ends up having almost the same experience playing this game. Even with the things that they can choose to do, they end up really having the same experiences. The highs end up being highs for everyone. The lows end up being lows for everyone. And somehow, when everyone plays this blind, everyone ends up having the same shared experience. Yet there is uniqueness to it. And it is one of the most beautiful things I have seen. And I'm really telling you all this. I'm like speaking to you right now. I'm telling you this because you're only going to have one opportunity to play through the game once. That's it. You can play through this game 20 times if you want to, but you're never going to get that first run back. So the blinder you can go into this game, the better it is going to be. So that's a very long way of saying, don't look at anything else here. Don't look at trailers. This video might have even been a tiny bit, a tiny bit too much. But if you're like really excited and wanting to play this game right now, don't look up anything about it after this video. That's it. Like, that is it. Just go straight to the game, if possible. I do have one last ask here, and I know asking the internet for something can be dangerous. I'm aware of that, but I do have one ask. If you have played the game, if you're currently playing the game, if you're wanting to play the game, I know that this is really tough. I know what I'm going to ask is really tough because you're going to really want to do it, right? But I'm just going to ask you all, please don't share things. Don't be spoiling things for people. Don't be that person, right? Because the whole thing I talked about all of us having like all these different unique backgrounds, but having the same universal experience in some ways, that happens because of the community. And that really happens. Even if you don't feel like you're a part of the community, you can be in there just by finishing Expedition 33 and not going around and spoiling it for people. If you're having a lively discussion with someone, sure, that's a thing. But don't be sharing this around with people. Don't be don't spoil it for others who might want to play the game. That's the thing that I ask. Just keep it close to your chest, because you're going to see how personal this game is when you experience it. And hopefully you'll have it. Just remember that's the right move for those who come after. Anyways, that's about it for this video here. This has probably been the most sentimental I've gotten with a Game of the Year video, and I'm going to be super honest with you all. If I did the whole personal breakdown of it, like I would just be crying. I would just be a wreck, because I did enough of that playing the game, man. But, you know, I got to at least tear up a little bit, a teeny bit. Let's see if y'all saw that there. Anyways, that's about it for this video here. Seriously, I hope everyone watched this. If you made it to the end, first of all, thank you. Secondly, I hope you have a good, safe new year. I hope to see you next year. Think about it like this. If you're not going to have a safe new year, you're not going to have an opportunity to play Expedition properly. Come on, man. You can't ruin that for yourself. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out. It's been awesome. And thank you for allowing me to just gush about why I love this game so much. And if you've enjoyed the game, let me know. Like, leave some comments. Let's see if we can get something going. Please, let's keep the... Actually, I'm just going to say this. If people are, like, dropping spoilers, they're just gone. Just gone. Like, if I see that, that shit's gone, right? So, I want to keep this good here. I want to keep something good going. And if you see anybody who's just trying to poo-poo this game, again, that's going to be someone who they're not even allowing themselves to enjoy the game. Like, that's what it is. That is what I'm convinced by. Unless you just have, like, you can't do turn-based RPGs at all. If you don't like this game, you're just not allowing yourself to enjoy it. That's my opinion on it, at least. Anyways, that's about it for this video here. That's about it for the year here as well, too. So thank you very much for tuning in, listening, watching, hanging out, doing what you do, and I'll see you next year. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. If you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well, too. As I always say, though, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you all for listening and watching, everyone. And, I guess until next year. See y'all then.